What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be watching Takayuki Kohiramaki versus Peter Crook. This fight we're watching for two reasons. Number one, I just really like watching old K1 Max fights. This is from 2002, such a nostalgic era for me. I was watching these guys all the time, trying to learn as much as I could. So I just wanted to share this awesome fight, or at least I remember it being awesome, with everybody on my channel. But reason number two is you're going to see one fighter, at least again as I remember, clearly in the lead, winning the fight. And then at the last round, having something awful happen and losing. So we're going to watch this. It's a bit of a spoiler, but that's okay because you're going to have to figure out who's winning. I could be wrong too. Keep in mind, I have not watched this fight in probably 20-ish years, maybe 15. Probably about 15 years. I actually had to go back into my old school computer, which is just like a big block now. Hardly ever open it up, but I have lots of K1 fights on there. So I pulled it over and just decided to watch it again with everybody on my channel. So the Japanese fighter, you might recognize him as being the guy that Bokao just annihilated in 2004. The Japanese fighter Kohi threw a low kick twice at Bokao's knee as he was holding Bokao's leg, and Bokao didn't like that and then proceeded to throw him around, ragdoll him around the ring before kneeing him in the throat to finish the fight. Vicious, vicious. But Kohi is actually a very good fighter, and we'll see some great display of performance and technique from him tonight. The other athlete, Peter Crook, if you look at him, he looks a little more Muay Thai stylish. Hands elongated from the head, shifting the weight, more like a Muay Thai fighter. Looks like he's good at checking there, but there's lots of low kicks going back and forward right now, so he's ready for that. Both fighters not really throwing anything yet of massive consequence, but exchanging some nice thigh kicks. Thigh kicks are actually a good way to feel out your opponent and stay safe. There's a number of reasons for that. Nice low kick there. Number one, you can get your head off the center line and stay out of punch range, just like that. Oh, that was illegal. Definitely not allowed. You can't soccer kick somebody in the head unless maybe you're in 1FC. Reason number two for the low kick being safe, or making it safe, is after you throw, you bring your hands right back to your head. So your head's off the center line, you're out of range hopefully, and then your hands shoot back up to your head when you finish your low kick. That's why you don't see too many people getting knocked down as they throw the low kick. It's a hard one to counter in the moment. People get countered if they're lazy and they bring their hands low and they stay stationary with their head in the middle of the kick. So both of these fighters around the same height. Nice technical display right now. That was a great inside kick from Kohi there. He timed his opponent as he threw his round kick. He moved away and took out attacked the standing leg. Remember, whenever you throw a technique, there's always something to exploit in your opponent after. Again, on that one there, he did it not quite as proficiently. So this is a pretty even first round. Back and forward, feel out process. Both fighters demonstrating high level kickboxing. A nice little scoop and counter low kick in the slow-mo there. It's just beautiful to watch into a long tie guard. Kohiramaki is a skilled fighter. Bokao didn't make him look super strong, but he is strong. He fought Masato early in their career and then once again later in the career, and both times he did pretty well. He has very vicious front kicks, the Japanese fighter, and amazing flying knees. Doesn't let his hands go as much as I would like to see, because when he does, they're sharp. But for some reason he seems a little hesitant occasionally to pull the trigger. I'm not really scoring this fight right now, but if I had to, gun to my head, who won the last round, I'd probably say Kohi. But again, I wasn't watching for that purpose. Just enjoying and talking to you guys right now. Back and forward action. Even, oh, look at that nice Brazilian fake there. Peter Crook didn't fall for it. Good counter shots from Peter there. Yeah, Peter didn't fall for that Brazilian. A lot of times you need to set that up first. Maybe actually land a front kick that hurts somebody and then go into the Brazilian. You got to get somebody to reach their hands down. Peter Crook right now, I would say, is in charge of this round with that left hook counter that he landed. Most substantial punch of the fight, I would say. Nice low kick there from Kohi. His technique, and a good one back from Peter. Oh, Kohi's defense there being a little bit suspect. Nice check. It's funny, I remember this fight as the Japanese athlete just dominating. And it just goes to show you sometimes when you're younger and you're not as experienced, you don't know as much. I don't know how I would have thought he dominated the fight. He's clearly not. But I guess we have our favorites. That was a nice high kick there, blocked by Peter. But very close to landing. As my dad likes to say, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Always makes me smile. You gotta land it. Nice fade back there. Kohiramaki throughout the years, if I was prepping up to fight him, he's shown enough times that he is weak on his hand defense when you combo on him. Peter doesn't look like he's a big boxer sort of style guy. So I'll be probably less likely to throw those combos. But he's letting his hands go there on the attack as, or defensively as Kohiri advances. That was nice. Stop him in his tracks. I'm surprised we haven't seen Kohiramaki throw any flying knees or anything yet, because he's actually very good at them. But yeah, to me, this is actually a close fight right now. In my mind, I had the Japanese fighter. Somebody would have said, what happened in this fight? And again, I haven't watched it in 15 years, but I would say the Japanese fighter dominated. But that's not it at all. But somebody does get KO'd at the end of the fight. It could be one round apiece. Again, I'm not watching this to score. To be a good judge, you got to sit and focus. You get distracted for a second and you miss one punch, that could have switched the fight. That could have switched who won the round. So there's no margin for error. I'm definitely not focused enough on every technique and keeping track to give you accurate scorecards, but you guys can do that yourself. K1 Max, the pinnacle of kickboxing. Just amazing, amazing athletes. Venues were filled up, putting on scheduled K1 performances throughout the year. I got lucky that I got to, win all those belts behind me and fight around the world and fight for glory and Bellator throughout China. Got a K1 fight early in my career against Lerdsila. Now fighting for Karate Combat. Very lucky. But I still look at these guys and I go, oh, it would have been awesome to be around during this time. Although it was only a 155-pound division and that's what I walk at, so I would have been dramatically undersized. I would have had to put on a good 15 or 20 pounds of muscle and then made the cut. All these little jabs back and forward. Both these guys, very skilled. And a lot of times if you want to learn more about kickboxing, this is what you need to do. You need to watch fights. Watch the fights, take notes, like that inside low right there. Look at how he's throwing it. 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row. Went for a 5th but missed. You just watch it and you go, oh, now there we go. That one looked like it actually hurt him. And again, it probably hurt him. So it might be a technique that you've never thrown before. You're not really proficient with the inside low or realize how damaging it can be. And then you watch this fight and you go, oh, I'm going to add that to my arsenal. And then all of a sudden when people attack you with hands, you're hitting that soft section of their thigh and they're not loving it, again, now he's exploiting this, this injury or the softened up leg. Winning the round for sure, in my opinion. But yes, you can learn so much by watching other people fight, especially when they're good. If they're not good, I feel like it's a little bit of a waste of time. This is why I prefer to watch fights very often that go the distance, because we see displays of defense. And that's what we should be aspiring towards, defense where people aren't getting knocked out. I know a lot of people like the knockouts, but for myself, in terms of learning, I prefer fights that go the distance. Nice little low kick fake there with the slide. Should have followed up with a body shot. The left hook is wide open when you do that little slide fake. Oh yeah, he's definitely hurting Peter's leg now. Even to the outside, he buckled on that one a little bit. Good control there, a little jab. Ooh, he got caught with the cross but threw his own back, so that kind of nullified scoring. I just love fights with clean styles. Beautiful clean style. Coming up to the close of round 3 here. Kohei has this one won, in my opinion, just through those low kicks he was tossing up. So that, to me, would be probably round 1 and 3 to the Japanese fighter. What do you tell your fighter, or if you're the cornerman of Peter Crook, what are you telling him right now? It's a good thing to think about as well. Get your brain kind of percolating on making adjustments in between rounds. You don't need to have somebody to discuss it with. You can just sometimes think on that between rounds and just think, how would I start making the adjustment? And then we got a groin shot there. Those are never fun. If you guys haven't already, a little off point here, but this just reminded me, down in the description, I have a new cup, a new groin protector that I'm using called the Diamond Cup. For years, I wore a steel cup. The steel cup was fantastic until it came loose when I was fighting for the glory belt behind me, and it was shifting around, and I couldn't stop in the fight because I didn't want to give my opponent time to get his breath back. So then I was wearing a cup that was falling around. Plus on those ones too, man, they're just bombing now. I'll come back to the Diamond Cup after. Get back to commentating this fight. Oh, big cross there. Jeez. Peter Crook probably at this point recognizing he's a little down on the scorecards. His leg is hurt though. He's reaching low. You should not let your hand drop when a low kick's coming towards you. It's not going to help you defend the low kick, and it compromises your head. Jeez. Big high kick there. That would be funny. Let's see if he actually reached for that. If that was just really good timing on Kohei, or if it was exactly what I was just saying. I have not watched this fight in 15 years. I forgot that that happened. I want to see the slow motion replay of that for sure. Back to chopping low. It could just be that Peter's hand positioning makes him a little more vulnerable to the round kick. He did land a nice cross in there. Kohei back with a similar technique, at least on that round kick. Ooh, that cross wobbled Peter. Oh, big cross again. Here comes Kohei. This is what he should be doing more in his fights, but he's always a little timid. When he gets going, he's a dangerous, dangerous dude. Good experience there. Went for the step through knee. Realized, oh, there's nothing there. Just pause. Ref will take care of you sometimes. He switches his stance. Oh, there we go. Switch again. That cross is dangerous. His leg is done though. Peter's leg is just done. I thought that was the end of the round, but no, he's just calling him back to the middle of the ring. Oh. Yeah, they don't move around. I don't even know if Peter could move that much anymore, but in kickboxing, you just kind of stand facing your opponent. There's much less bouncing and movement. So if Peter could move, it might be a good time, but maybe his legs just hammered enough that, you know, moving around, throwing the jab, maybe he just can't do it. And a round 4. You want to see that replay of the high kick. And as I was saying, the Diamond Cup, it's so good that when I used to get hit with my Steel Cup, I would still sometimes go down. Doesn't happen with the Diamond Cup. Oh, see, it's just his hand was just a little far from his head. He didn't reach for the low kick. He did pull it down a little bit. Maybe he was thinking it was a body shot. Just good trajectory. Struggling with the word trajectory on that round kick. He kind of brought it up to body level, did a little turn. It wasn't a Brazilian, but look at that cross by Peter Crook. A little in dirty boxing there. Grabbed him and gave him a little thud on the head. Throwing when his leg is caught. He's feisty. Obviously at this point now, after getting knocked down, he knows he's behind on the scorecards. And he probably knows that he's got to go for it. Because if he stands here and exchanges single shot for single shot, Kohei's going to tear that leg up. Good corner would say you got to get in there and box with this dude. Because you've been hitting him already, especially with the cross. There he goes. Beautiful. Throwing the cross. Knees to the thigh. If you have somebody's leg hurt, knee them to the thigh in the clench. Ow. That one. That just showed how much pain he's in. My brother's called for me to do that a couple times in fights. Boom! And he's out. And that is what I remember being the end. Now, yeah, that's it. So what I remember in my head before watching this was Kohei dominated and got KO'd at the end. He didn't dominate, but he was definitely winning. And to get to round 5, when you've won the fight, if he took number 1, number 3, and number 4 by 2 points, he's up. All he has to do is cruise to a victory. Maybe that's not what I do. A lot of times I push the pace, but I do it safely. But if you're winning a fight and somebody is bringing the pace to you, you got to be extra defense focused. So this does not happen. Let's look at this in slow-mo. He's reaching a little too far with his hands. His hand comes out just a little scooch away from his face and the hook wraps around. Boom. Short little hook, but enough to jar the head and get that KO. Yikes. All right, guys, that is all from me. I hope you enjoyed this fight, and I will see you back here soon for another video.